What's going on, guys? It's Brandon L. Draper with the Start Thinking Forward Morning Show. Hey guys, if you haven't heard about a free way to share your story or voice with a community of like-minded people, well, I got something for you. The no excuse way to start your podcast. Let me explain. First and foremost, it is free 99. They got all types of creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. No special equipment needed, right? You can also make money from your podcast. There's not a minimum amount of people need to listen to it. It's everything plus more that you'll need to create your very own podcast in one place. So, what are you waiting on? Download your free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Yo, it's TMK. Check it. I ain't trying to rush it, but I gotta go. The cameras all waiting, I'm the star of the show. Ain't none of this scripted, it's a natural flow. So go ahead and find a seat, but you try to take notes. Lights, camera, action, just focus on me. Award-winning bars, whether written or free. This is here for all ages, so I'm gonna keep it PG. And come drop the mic at the end of my scene. TMK, yo.
What's going on, guys? Wake up, wake up, wake up. It is time for the Start Thinking Forward Morning Show. I'm your host, Brandon L. Draper, bringing the heat this morning. So we have an interesting topic this morning. We're going to be talking about speaking life in a desperate situation. So many times we are faced against so many different obstacles, and I kind of talked about it yesterday when I was talking about perspective. You know, it's all in how you look at the situation that is going to determine your potential outcome. So you have to be able to speak life in a desperate situation. So I want to share a story with you real quick when it comes about speaking life and being encouraged through the journey, because that's what it's going to take. So when we talk about encouragement, let's talk about there once was a group of frogs that were traveling through the woods. Two of them fell into a deep pit. When the other frogs crowded around the pit and they saw how deep it was, they told the two frogs that there was no hope left for them. Right? Think about that. No hope left for them. However, the two frogs decided to ignore what the others were saying, and they proceeded to try and jump out of the pit. Despite their efforts, the group of frogs at the top of the pit was still saying they should just give up and die, that they would never ever make it out. How many of you listening to this right now, people have told you that you wasn't going to make it? How many people right now listening to this, the doctor told you you wasn't going to make it, that you only had 6 months, and you still here 10, 20, 30 years later? How many kids were diagnosed when they were a baby that they wouldn't live past the age of 6, and they 35 with kids right now? So think about it. It doesn't matter what they say. Doesn't matter if they say you can't get out of the situation. It doesn't matter what they say. What are you telling yourself? What encouragement are you giving yourself? Are you speaking life into your situation, no matter how desperate it may be? Eventually, one of the frogs took heed to what the others were saying, and he gave up, falling down to his death. The other frog continued to jump as hard as he could. Again and again, he kept on trying, to no avail. And again, the crowd of frogs yelled at him to stop the pain and just let death succumb you. He jumped even harder and harder. He was relentless. He wasn't willing to just die. He was going to go down with the fight. He kept on jumping, and finally, he made it out. When he got out, the craziest thing happened. The other frog said to him, "Did you not hear us? We told you to stop. You was going to die." The frog explained to them that he was death. He thought they were encouraging him the entire time. The moral of the story here, guys, is simple. People's words can have a big impact on others' lives. Think about what you say before it comes out of your mouth. It might be the difference between life and death. So, when it comes to encouragement, I always like to tell people, first and foremost, you got to encourage yourself. You know, it's good sometimes to get the attaboys that, good job, pat on the back. But what about when that doesn't happen? Right? A lot of pioneers didn't get pats on the backs. They got arrows in their backs. So you're trying to be a pioneer in your family, trying to be a pioneer in your business, trying to be a pioneer in your industry. You're trying to be a pioneer. You're not going to get many pats on your back. You're going to get more arrows in your back. That's just the reality of the world that we live in. But we're not judged on what happens to us. We are judged on how we react to them. Because at the end of the day, whether we want to accept it or not, majority of the things that happen to us, it's nothing new. It's happened to someone that had that same emotions or feelings at that point in time or something related to it. So our emotions that we have for things, towards things, are nothing new. But even when you're going through the pain, we talked about it yesterday morning, even when you're going through the pain, you got to speak life into the situation in order to overcome the situation. No matter how much it may feel like it's not going to work out, that's when your faith has to be activated. That's when you have to have a belief in something greater than everything else around you. Mind you, I didn't say greater than yourself. Right? Now, this is just my opinion, right? I believe that there's certain things out here in this world that people agree to just because other people say so. I think that there's nothing greater than yourself. You are the highest consciousness of you. There's nothing higher than you. Now, I'm not going on the religious tangent there, but I'm saying when it comes to you, you have your best interest in heart more than any other thing or any other being on this earth. No one has more invested interest in you than you, right? Now, people have interest in you based on what you can do for them. And when you outlive your usefulness, then you're no longer needed, right? So we live in that type of world. So when people have your interest at heart, either they love you and have sincerity in their heart for you and want the best for you based upon their perception of you, right? Because sometimes we live in households and maybe just talking to the younger generation where you're a teenager and your mother wants the best for you based on how she thinks you should be. So meaning she may want you to go to college or she may want you to do a profession. That's how she sees you. That may not be in agreement with your spirit or what you want to do. But at the end of the day, you have to accept that she does have your best interest at heart based upon how she perceives you. See, that's the difference. It's perception. We want for others what we perceive of them. That's why we can want more for others than they want for themselves based upon our perception, right? So the same narrative applies to when it comes to situations and problems in our own lives. What is our perception on the problem? So it's going to lead to certain types of outcomes. If we're afraid of the problem, we constantly run from it. There might be something inside of us that bothers us, that brings out an emotional response that we don't care to feel. Therefore, we run from the problem instead of facing the problem. And that's the hardest thing to do. And I'm speaking from my point of view, being afraid of certain problems and don't know exactly how to approach them. And especially when you're dealing with other people's feelings and emotions. So sometimes we get in that feeling where we retreat. So instead of addressing the issue, we run away from it for days, for weeks, for months, for years, decades. We run away from things. And sometimes not really thinking about the detriment that we cause in that, because we're speaking to ourselves, not of life, but of death, but of failure, but of setbacks, but of hurt. Those are the feelings and emotions that we're putting out there. That's what we're speaking into our lives. So we're speaking things of fear. So if you're fearful, fear usually means danger. Fear usually means danger. Danger usually means death. So when you start thinking that way, it's hard to speak life, which brings positivity. So where one could possibly lose because you're thinking positive, there are things that get lined up in a certain way that helps you, right? And for those biblical scholars out there, the ram in the bush, right? So there are things that even when you're faced in the most perilous situations, that if you speak life into the situation, no matter how dismal it may look, no matter how perilous, no matter how futile, no matter how much it looks like it's just not going to work, that if you speak life into it, there is a possibility that you can get on the other side. Like we talked about yesterday, you can get on the other side of whatever is there for you. But you have to speak life into the situation. And when I say speak life, meaning you have to change the way in which you think and process information. That frog, maybe if he was hearing, maybe he may have conceded to what the other frogs were saying and not continue to jump. But I guess in life, sometimes we have to be deaf. We have to be deaf in order to rise above the status quo, in order to do what we know that we're capable of when others doubt our capabilities. We have to be deaf. We cannot hear that. You have to close your ears and your mind to what other people are saying if they're not affirming what it is that you see for yourself, your vision that you have for yourself. Think about that for a second. How can you speak life into a situation when everyone around you is speaking death? They are speaking hopelessness. That's when you feel as if you don't have control. And that's the icing on the cake there. That's when you come to that realization that you have to be deaf when it comes to that. In order to speak life into your situation, you have the most invested interest in you. And then sometimes having an invested interest for yourself, when you become that perfect version of yourself, you can go and help other people become the best version of yourself. Let me tell you something. You want to find out what your life has been purposed for? Go start hanging around people that have found their purpose. See, you got people that are 50, 60, 70 years old and still haven't figured it out. They're still living life, the template that someone gave them a long time ago. They still haven't looked in themselves and say, you know what? I want to start doing things that make me happy. I don't know if this is a test drive. They always say, life is not a rehearsal. I don't know if this is a test drive, right? This is the real deal for all I know. And I don't know anyone that went, for a couple of years and came back and told me different. So I don't know. And I think it goes back to us as all of us being spectators. Even what I'm saying here, this is just my opinion based upon experiences that I've had in my own life. And I'm just sharing those with you, sharing those stories, sharing those things that, my mother used to tell me when I was coming up. Some funny, but oftentimes very serious in life lessons that prepared me for something greater later on in my life that I didn't even know then, that she spoke life into me. No matter what the situation was, she spoke life into me. She spoke life into every situation I was in, no matter if it was good or bad. She spoke life into it. She always attempted to give me a better possibility. See, when you speak life into things, it gives it a possibility for it outcome being a little bit better or changing. Excuse me. So you got to think about that for a second. Where do you want your outcome to be? If you want it to be negative, then keep talking about it being negative. But why don't you speak life into it? Because you never know. You never know. I was sitting up there looking at a movie the other day. It was kind of funny. And I'm trying to think of the name of the movie, but the young lady was running across the street, and this guy was behind her with a gun. And it was getting ready to be a dead end. So she know it was over. This guy was going to get her. And so she crosses the street and she's running. And she's really about just to give up. Because she know this is the end, right? And if you're looking at the show, you're looking at it, oh, this is the end for her. It's over for her. And then right at the last minute, boom. Big truck comes in the middle of the highway, kills the guy. She thought it was over. She was the other frog that just gave up for a second, right? But she kept on running. She wasn't the other frog that gave up. She kept on running. But right before it was about to be over, surprise, surprise, guy gets hit with a truck. Now, what things can happen in your life? Who could intervene? You don't know what the possibilities are. There's so many countless stories where a guy's trying to get acquisition of another company, and one of the silent partners has to be there for the signing. At the last minute, the CEO wants to back out of the deal. When the guy comes to the table, he looks up and sees his lifelong friend that he didn't even know was a part of the deal. And he actually had the majority share in the company, so he made the final decision. And guess what? Where the guy thought it was about to be dead as a doorknob, the deal was going to be dead. His friend, for all those years that they had a good relationship, he always was good to him. Matter of fact, the reason that the guy is able to be to the table is because of investment strategies that he helped him with. Good friend, knew his kids, knew everything about him. Just being a good person, never had anything to gain by helping them, but helped them. And then one day, the same person he was helping and never asked for anything was the one person that made a life-altering decision that would allow his legacy to be forever etched in stone. But what if he had just given up and never even showed up to the meeting? Think about those things for a second. Put yourself in position. We always want miracles. We always want things to happen. But in order for anything to happen, you have to be in position, right? You have to be in position. You can't launch a missile if the missile is not loaded on the machine that launches it. Very simple. It has to be in position in order to be launched. If it's not in position, it's nothing but dead weight, doing nothing, taking up space. You have to put yourself in position. And the only way you can put yourself in position is one thing you got to do is speak life into your situation that you're going through right now. I don't care what it is. Speak life into it. Speak life into it right now. Because that life is going to put you in position for another possibility. It's going to put you in position to win. And the key to it is being in position. Hey guys, thank you for tuning in this morning. I greatly appreciate it. I don't take it lightly. You could be doing anything right now. You could be sleeping. You could be listening to another podcast. You could be doing work. I don't know what it is you're doing, but I just want to thank you for allowing me to take up almost 20 minutes of your time talking to you about the inner thoughts of my mind and sharing different experiences and things that I've experienced. And hopefully it can help transform you, help you to understand that you're not alone, that a lot of the things that you may go through, that other people go through them too. It's just that they may not talk about it. I'm just up here talking about it. That's the only difference. If you want to talk about certain things or certain topics, you're more than welcome to leave a message on our, well, first of all, you can send me an email at Brandon@selfpublishedcentral.com. Again, that's Brandon@selfpublishedcentral.com. If there's any particular topics you want to talk about, send me a topic that you want to talk about, and I'll talk about it. And, to kind of walk you through it, to help you, maybe it's something that I've experienced, right? Or maybe it's an experience that someone have told me or gave me a story, or, they may respond to it in the comment section. I don't know, but I think the most important thing about the human experience is to experience. You're experiencing me just like I'm experiencing you. So give me that opportunity to be able to express with you some of my inner thoughts, and you can express some of your inner thoughts to me, and maybe we can find something that helps us connect to better understand not just ourselves, but each other. Hey guys, thank you once again. Thank you for tuning in. Please, if you want to follow us on Instagram, that is at The Real Motivational King. And also, if you are looking to share your story, transform the world, I made the promise, so we're coming. It's going to be this quarter. We are going to launch our own ebook and audiobook platform, interactive ebook platform. And we are going to have a way for you to be able to share your work as well. So one of the things I want to take this time to talk about is for authors and creators out there to be able to have control over your stuff, instead of just putting them on other platforms. So we're working on that vigorously at this moment. Also, if you want to support our channel, we're getting ready to bring some videos, clips in, and put those on YouTube to be able to share our experience a little bit more. So I guess you can kind of see me and my facial features and all those things when I get hype, when I get up here. So if you're interested in supporting our channel and supporting our movement of inspiration, please go to patreon.com/creators inner circle. Again, that's patreon.com/creators inner circle. And I'm going to get my own URLs. I know that might be hard. People are like, how do you spell Patreon? So, I'm going to get a custom domain for that, so you guys can be a part of that. And when you join Patreon as well, you're also going to be able to get more behind the scenes stuff that we do, what I talk about, deeper insights into business. So it's not just, hey, you're just supporting one thing. It's like, hey, you're going to be able to get direct access to me, coaching. We're also getting ready to launch in the second quarter. We'll be launching the Write, Publish, and Profit course. And that's going to be a course that's going to be teaching people how to write, publish, and profit their book. So many people that write, but they never publish. And then you have some people that publish, but they never profit. So we're going to show you how you can write your book, then turn around and actually publish it, be proud of the work that you publish, and then actually start making money from it. And for the people that's listening right now, you might be surprised that the way that you think that you make money on a book is not necessarily correct. I'm just going to tell you that off the bat. So if you're one of those people that say you make your money off the royalties, I'll say, yeah. Okay. So you make money with royalties, but that's not where the money comes from. All right. So we're going to dive deep in that course. We're going to bring some workshops and webinars to you guys, talking a little bit about that, because the most important thing about me is I'm a storyteller. I love sharing stories and I love talking. And I know there's a lot of other people, they may have different mediums, and they may want to write, 100 books. If you got 100 books, let's publish them. Let's do it. Why not? Why not? There's a million reasons why you shouldn't, and there's a million reasons why you should, right? So polar opposites. You can come up with a million reasons not to, and I can come up with a million reasons why you should. So, if you got something to share, why not share it? You don't want more. I don't want to write a book. Maybe you want to make an interactive book. Maybe we can do a book that's part text and part video. Who said that you couldn't do it? I'm just saying. So that's what we're bringing. So if you're trying to be a part of new technology, new concepts that we're doing, please visit us online at www. Hope I didn't say too many W's. I always do that. So www.pinnaclepointpublishing.com. Again, that's www.pinnaclepointpublishing.com, and connect with us on social media and share this message if you felt moved by it today. And if you didn't feel moved by it, still share it, because somebody else might feel moved by it. All right. Hey guys, thank you. And until tomorrow, I'll see you again.